Hey everyone, welcome. Hey, welcome again to another recap chat, CBiz Media. This is Irene, Faith, Love, and Trends. We are talking 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way. And we know that 90 Day Fiance is a reality show that follows couples. One person's from the US, the other's from another country, which delivers a lot of sticky situations. And, you can get that in any relationship anyway, but it's heightened when there's cultural barriers, language boundaries, and trying to get that K-1 visa, the limited time, 90 days to get married so that you can stay in the country. All of these things are at stake. It's a 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way. There's a lot of different franchises in the 90 Day world on TLC, but we're in the Other Way at this time. And I'm going to just start right back with Patilla and Dylan. Quite an age difference between these two. But it's been 6 months since she's seen Dylan. She's going to finally reunite with him in his country. She's on her way to see her man. But she reveals to us that Dylan is a mama's boy. His mom calls him multiple times a day. She let her know that she doesn't want her with Dylan because of the age difference, and the possibility of children is probably not there. The lady's 58 at this point. I'm not sure if she's in menopause or not, but the kid thing is not going to happen between these two. So mom's not for it. She's kind of nervous because she's going to be moving there with her man, and mom, who doesn't get along well with her, lives only 5 minutes away. And she's saying, Dylan, you need to get off of mom's, I won't say the whole word, I'll just say nip. You need to get off of her nip. And I would say she's probably not wrong, but now we go to his side, and she's on her way there, and he's awaiting her to arrive. He reveals that she didn't want to come there because he would be near his mom. Her and the mom is going to be a huge issue, it sounds like. He wants everything to be perfect for her. It's been 5 years since they've lived together. They've had this whole 12-year relationship, which is like crazy to me. But anyway, they're still trying to go at it. He lets us know, hey, she loves the finer things in life. She's got herself in debt. He wants her to be happy with the simple life. He's going to try to teach her to don't worry about those finer things anymore. Don't know how easy that's going to be. So he's out to meet his bae. He's going to the airport on his way. He's looking like Crocodile Dundee. When they finally reunite, share a warm hug, and then out of nowhere, she's just like licking his face. Something called doggy kisses. Yuck. That's all I can say. Hopefully their whole thing works out. This is kind of where it ends for them on this episode. The ring is at question. Will she get the ring? When will she get the ring? She's like, she's ready for her ring. So that's a question that I feel like Dylan may have somewhat addressed. To me, I think he's kind of not ready. But after 12 years... and she's moving all the way to, I think it's Tanzania or Tasmania. Drop it in the comments, guys. My memory is horrible. Anyway, let's go to the next couple, Madeline and Luke. So we know that he revealed, hey, we're getting married in a minute, but hey, the stripper did come to my bachelor party. It wasn't my fault. The guys did it. She caked him up. They were doing the cake tasting, so he chose the greatest time to tell her. So she just got all the cake and mushed it all over him. It was quite a sight. So this is the aftermath. She's crying. She's throwing his stuff outside of her place. It could be their place, but she's throwing his stuff out. It doesn't matter. She tears up the flowers that he gave her. It's late, it's dark, and she's just throwing all this stuff out, throwing his torn up flowers outside of the building. And she's basically saying, I have to cancel this wedding. So he's riding around in dried up cake and on his way to try to save things and save the day. But, he finds his stuff outside and he just ends up leaving. Really, he doesn't know if this relationship can be redeemed. But look everyone, there's hope. Because Madeline, for some reason, calls him, so he's back. He's going to make his way back to her for another shot the next day. He comes again with flowers in hand. She kind of looking a mess. For her being Miss Cosmetology, the hair, the nail girl, it's like she has none of that on. She looks like she's been crying. I love the natural look. It's not the fact that she was natural. It's not really herself to be totally natural and to look like a little bit banged up because she was crying and she was stressed by this whole relationship. But anyway, about the stripper that came. She's like, come on, I know you had to touch her. I know you did something with her. He's like, no. She's like, no, I know you did something, And he lied. And they showed the receipts right after he lied. He's a bad liar. She just keeps, throwing it in his face that, do you think I'm dumb? Do you think that I think that you didn't do anything? And he did some things, but he apologizes. She says she's done and tells him to take his new set of flowers. She's in the bed crying and all of this. I think it's like the middle of the night and somehow he's back in there and tries to get in the bed with her. And she kind of freaks out like, I don't know, maybe she wasn't expecting him to pop up and try to get in the bed with her. Like he's trying to make everything right. He's got the flowers in his hand again. And she's just like, she starts crying and screaming and says, go. But that was really creepy how he snuck back in the bed with her. I would be really freaked out myself. That was a little bit weird. After all that, you think you can just crawl back in the bed with her in the middle of the night and scare her like that? I'm glad the camera crew was there. Anyway, I don't think he would have did anything like that, but, I have a feeling this is how he tries to get back with her. Starts to try to cuddle her and all of this. And this is how she gives back into him. And she's like, I'm not having it this time. All right, Jenny and Sumit. Sumit's mom kind of forces Jenny into poo yoga. And I'm not going to put the P on that, poo, just because I think that's a little bit too graphic for you guys, my audience. So we're just going to call it poo yoga. Didn't know that existed. Anyway, is someone having problems pooing? Anyway, I think it all kind of starts with Sumit's mom trying to say Jenny needs to lose some weight. She has to drink this kind of stinky drink that she's very hesitant about doing it. And she's like, no, I don't want to drink it. And she ends up drinking it after they kind of force her to. And Sumit's like, come on, my mom's been championing you. The family's been hating on you and she's still standing up for you. Come on, just do this for moms. Just do this for moms. So they're doing the poo yoga. So they had to drink that drink and it's going to make her, release what she needs to release. And I guess it can help with weight loss. So she's doing some type of stretch thing. I don't know these yoga poses, guys. And Dad comes and he's like, Jenny, no, your form is all wrong. So everybody's criticizing Jenny, on all levels. And I don't know, that would kind of mess me up a bit. Especially if I was ambush to do this. But I guess it makes for a great episode because they don't have a lot of other things going on. So let's just do this and let's beat up on Jenny. I don't know how great of an episode that is. And if I was Jenny, I don't think I could take that. She's struggling with this whole situation. And she's like, you know what? I'm done. She calls it a day. All right, Jenny, respect. You let them know that you're done. Now they have to go poo. So her and her husband Submit go to separate areas to go poo. And that is the main crux of what goes on in this episode with them. And then she lets us know her stomach hurts. So it looks like the poo yoga is working. See how I paused a lot? I really don't know how to handle this situation with the poo yoga. All right, so let's do Mignon and Anthony. They're working on actually trying to get a car. And he needs to brush up on his French. His accents are all wrong. He sounds so goofy. He does not have the suave sound of a Frenchman. It just sounds really goofy. And I love it, actually. And Mignon is like going mad over it, which I think that's why he's doing it even more, because he knows she's so annoyed by his horrible accent that sounds nothing like French. I think they were saying beaucoup. She said, you say beaucoup. He keeps saying beaucoup. And she's just losing it over this. But he's happy to see as they're going to the car dealership. And I guess everything's going to kind of be in his name. He's working on building his career now so she can spend more time with Ben. He says he's loving to see their bond grow. And they kind of show them have, a mother-son moment of her just taking care of her son and holding her son and being there for him during this time where Anthony's going to man up and he's going to be the breadwinner of this situation. But he says he sees improvement. It's great. But, on his end, he needs to get a job. Learning his French will help with that. So he's been, trying to digest this French every moment he can. And, as they are riding back from the dealership, she lets him know, hey, I have a business plan. And he's like, hey, that's not a part of the plan. You're supposed to be putting business down to take care of our son and bond with him. So what's going on? Well, she's saying my friend Dorian, who kind of is an entrepreneur, told her she can have it all. She can do it all. And then it begs the question, does it have to be business or family? Can we have both? She's saying, honestly, the plan I have is going to help us in our future, so we should go for this. And she wants to try to build a beauty brand. Anthony has his concerns. He knows she's a hustler and that's what makes her happy. But the question is, can she balance both? Now, is she going to be the Avon lady? Is she going to do Mary Kay? Is this going to be a side gig, or is she going to put her whole soul into this? And there are some Avon and Mary Kay ladies that do put their souls into this, and they probably make a really lot of money, but, their whole point is that their relationships are suffering, their marriage is suffering, the child and mother bond is suffering, so at what cost? Okay, all right. Now, looking at Jonathan and Chloe here, she's moved to Aruba Paradise, and she left her job and all that stuff. And she's trying to get Jonathan to kind of change his vibe. He has a sexy job where he does these stunts and, flirtation with women is a part of his job. It doesn't have to be 100%, but it's kind of what he does. And I guess it's kind of the draw to people coming onto that pirate boat job that he has, whatever he's doing. He's doing stunts on a boat. He's flipping girls around and all this stuff. They're in bikinis, and this is what Chloe is like, no, you have to stop doing that. Do your job. Don't touch the girls. Anyway, he's off to work. At this point, now that they're living together, she's in Aruba. You know, he let us know that they were... She kind of forced him to share locations because of some infidelity issues on his part, and she kind of had some indiscretions herself. But whatever the case, he's like, you know, we're living together now. Let's trust each other. Can I turn this location sharing thing off? So she's agreed to it, but not, because her friend comes over. She's struggling to trust her man. So she's like, hey, friend, let's go hang out. But where they're hanging out is like right across from the boat that that her man's working on, his little pirate boat. And so now she's going to spy on him from the island from afar. She's like, hey, we're really on a spy mission. Unbeknownst to her friend, she thinks they're going to go hang out. No. We're gonna spy. So she has this special spot where she likes to spy on him. The friend kind of sees where she's coming from. She says she knows Jonathan can be a little bit flirtatious. Her man is the same way. I'm not sure if they both have boat men. I wasn't paying enough attention, but whatever the case, she gets where she's coming from when it comes to spying on her man. So Chloe enjoyed that. I don't know if I want her to get busted. I don't know how I feel about it, but it just seems like maybe she's a bit bored if this is all she has to do. And I don't know if she's going to even see anything. I hope she doesn't see anything. I hope Jonathan proves her wrong and she releases all of her fears. But we really don't know how that's going to play out. But... you know, to me, she's like a little bit I Love Lucy, a bored housewife at this point. Maybe she should find some other shenanigans to get into to entertain us. I don't know. Whatever the case, that's it, guys. We're done with this episode. Thoughts, comments, questions. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What is the vibe? Email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com or just drop it in the comments. What are you watching? Are you watching this? What are you watching in the 90-day universe? What are you watching when it comes to the world of love and reality? I'd really like to know. And is this season doing anything for you? That's also a question. Alright, so I'll talk to you again next time. This is Irene, Faith, Love, and Trends. All the best. God bless.